Next up, we cast for early summer largemouth bass as they cruise the shallows, exposing a sparse cover pattern that's available and overlooked on lakes across the Midwest. Jon Thelen's Destination Fish is brought to you by Rebel Lures and Alumacraft Boats.
Oh,
Right
look
there.
at that.
Look at that. That's how you like to start a day, my
He
friend.
came out and got that.
Good fish to start, too. Look at
Followed that quite a ways.
Yeah, you did. Look at that. Good fish to start.
There we go.
Man, early summer largemouth fishing. I'm with Bruce Stanton today from Pradco Fishing, and what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about fishing largemouths early in the summer. And this can be a tricky period, but I'll tell you what, you can get on fish like that, you get on bites like this is first cast. He said something about a first cast jinx, now I'm nervous. But I'll tell you what, that start right there is exactly what we're looking for. That's a chunky little guy. Topwater fishing, man, how do you beat that, huh?
It's the best way to fish. You get to see everything.
You know, it really is. It makes it visual, and when it becomes visual, it becomes a lot more fun.
Well, what you did right there, you're making me work it all the way back to the boat, because he hit about halfway from that weed line.
Yeah, that's a great start. You know, if you're just getting started bass fishing, one of the things I'd tell you is you're gonna see it as the day goes on. You look around this boat today, we got 6 rods out. We've got some frogs tied on, we've got pop-Rs, and we're planning on throwing some yum dingers. We're gonna throw everything at them today as the progressions move throughout the day. But when you're trying to pick those lures to fish, a perfect time to fish a pop-R is when you're fishing some of that more sparse cover like what we're fishing here, because with 2 exposed treble hooks, you don't want to throw this into your thickest stuff. So this is a great lure to start with in your sparse stuff and out off the edges. And then you know, when those fish, if they get up in that thick stuff, that's when we're gonna go to our frogs. And then if they get out into that 10, 12, 15 feet of water, that's when you're gonna see us go over to the jigs and the plastics. So when it really comes down to it, just following that progression, especially when you're fishing early mornings like we are here, I'll tell you what, it's just deadly. You're gonna catch fish as you move through all those different baits for the different scenarios. It's early June. The water temps are in the high 60s with cool morning air temps in the low 60s, pushing through the 70s as the sun rises. Light 5 to 10 mile per hour winds are making for the perfect morning to throw topwater lures on glass calm water. Rebel pop-Rs in black chrome and blue chrome are the ideal baits for probing the sparse cover the bass are cruising in this morning.
Oh, man, he came out and got that.
That looks like a good one, huh?
Feels pretty good.
Man, they are firing. A little bit on the outside today, aren't they?
A little bit on the outside.
You know, location-wise, when you look at this, I know with bass fishing, so often you always want to think about being up in the thicket of stuff. But at this time of the year, when you're talking early summer, before you've got a lot of that emergent weed growth, these fish, they'll cruise the outer edges, they'll cruise in tight. You gotta really work. Ooh, that's a good bass there. Look at that. But here's the deal, you really gotta work your way through all different depths to find exactly where the fish are, because they'll cruise the outer edges as much as they'll cruise the inside stuff. Equipment we're using today, it's pretty simple. Most everybody's got a rod and reel setup like this already in the rod locker. Just a medium to a medium heavy spinning rod. These are 7.5 feet long. And then what we're doing is we're using 10-pound braid and we're cranking that drag down. Now when we switch to some heavier stuff today, or switch to frogs where we're trying to pull fish out of that cover, where it's a little bit thicker, that's when you're gonna need to go to a little bit more stout rod in that bait caster. But man, I'll tell you, what you've got in your rod locker, you're gonna be able to catch fish with pop-Rs. Pretty easy to fish them.
Jon Thelen's Destination Fish is brought to you by these fine sponsors.
There you go. There you go. Good one.
Yeah, this is a good one. Feels like a good one.
Well, we doubled up. Mine's not as big as yours, but
I don't know that this one's as big as I thought he was, but he's not a bad fish. You gotta love a double. It's when you know you're catching fish, right? Come here, buddy. Good bass. Oh.
yeah, I think I'd have to push mine out closer to the camera.
It's fun stuff. That's fun stuff, man. Even when you get a couple fish like that that aren't giants, they're just fun on topwater because they're up, they're flying in that shallow water. And you know, the thing about bass that I always say is, you know, you look at a walleye, a lot of times you're fighting a walleye up. You're fighting a bass horizontally. And that makes that fight just bigger.
Oh,
you got another one, 2 casts in a row.
Ah, he's off. God, he crushed it. Felt better. Oh, he came back and got it, John.
Got him again.
Came back and got it.
Looks like a good one. Ooh, that looks like a good one in the rod.
That's a better fish.
Good fish. Look at that one. That's a nice one.
Yep, he came back and got it.
Isn't that something else, how aggressive they'll get?
I think it gets competitive. You know, you get all these fish watered up, and they say if I don't go get it, somebody else will.
Right.
I traveled a long way to get front-ended by Jon Thelen, but the one thing I'll compliment you on is normally when I sit in the back of your walleye boat, I'm kind of breaking my ankles because I got big feet and there's not a lot of place to stand, but you got this add-on deck. And believe me, when you're standing back here all day bass fishing, it's really nice.
Yeah, you know, Alumacraft does a heck of a job coming up with solutions that can make it so that these boats can be multi-species. And on this Comp 205, that simple little fold-up deck makes it so you got a full casting platform back there, and then underneath it, I'm storing stuff. So it's a slick deal. I mean, it turns these boats from a walleye boat to a bass boat in a heartbeat.
Well, and it keeps me from standing up next to you all day long because I wouldn't stand back here if I didn't have this deck back here.
Boy, would we be fighting for a cast up here. Oh, boy. Oh, good fish.
Good God.
Good fish. This is the biggest fish of the day right here.
Wow.
This is a big fish. Stay on. Stay on.
Oh, I got one too.
Do you? This is a big fish I got, Bruce.
I think mine's good too, John.
Look at this fish.
Look at this.
Come here.
Oh.
Oh boy. I'm just gonna lift
Look at
this
this
guy.
right here.
Oh.
Hey.
Look at this. Look at this.
Hey.
Look at that.
That's a double right there.
Ooh, that right there, that is what topwater fishing is all about. That's a heavy fish. That's 2 good ones. And you know what's funny? Those fish, they were cruising together, weren't they?
They were. They were.
In size class, they were cruising together. And I mean, this fish is pushing 4 pounds. That one's 3.5. Man, that is good stuff. Woo! There you go.
How about that?
Oh, yeah!
Look at that. You called that one.
Automatic right there, man.
Holy
Good
cow.
fish, too.
He's another one of those that hit farther out.
Yep, look at that one.
Look at that.
Another good fish. Boy, it's
pawpaw.
heating up. It's heating up in general, but it just goes to show you these fish, they'll still hit. We had to get rid of the rain gear. It's finally getting warm, but what a day for bass fishing. You know, one of the things I'll say too is when you're thinking topwater, I know it's not always the easiest thing in the world to do to fish around a weather forecast, but I'll tell you what, if you can find one of those weekend days or a day you're available to fish that it's gonna be flat like this, go topwater fishing, because I'll tell you, this is that time where these fish can see it the best, they can hear it the best. And man, I'll tell you, it's maybe the most fun too. I saw that fish coming. I mean, that was cool stuff right there.
Jon Thelen's Destination Fish has been brought to you by these great sponsors.